Good morning. Today we're going to look at 2013, question 1, an orthographic drawing here. So one of the first things I like to do in an orthographic drawing is figure out what exactly are the views going to look like. We just check where the top of our camera is there. So there we go. So we're looking for three views. Elevation direction A, end view in the direction of B, so it's going to be pointing to the left, it's going to be over on the left, and a plan view. So what we'll do is we'll just do a quick little sketch here. Alright, there is A. Just double check we can see that. Oh, there it is, lovely. And we have a plan view beneath it because the plan is always under the elevation. And because arrow B is pointing to the left, B will be over here. All right. Now, what I want to figure out now is roughly how big are these outline boxes. Sometimes you can't solve it, but in this case we can. So we look at it, it's nice and easy. It's 110 high. That's fine. 65 and 65 is 130 wide. Okay, which means, of course, the plan is 130 wide because it's the same object. And the only one we need to do a bit of figuring out for is how deep is it. Now, for something like this, I would be saying to use a calculator. Of all the things to make a mistake on, there's no point in doing it for this. So we have 25 mil there, 25 plus, and then we've got these three across here, 36 plus 14 plus 30. And we're not quite there yet. If we follow this line all the way down, we still have this front piece here. If we look over here, we'll see how wide that is. That's plus 35. That gives us 140. All right, so that means this guy, of course, is 140 by 110. Now, it's worth just scribbling that down. That way we know how it's all going to be laid out, and we're not trying to solve those little bits of maths problems while doing more complex drawing. Okay, so I'm going to draw these views. In most exams, of course, you'd have A2 paper, and this will fit fairly comfortably, but because we have A3, we're just going to do a quick check. There we are, loads of space at 140 down. So we'll come up a little bit. There we are. So 110 will fit in nicely. So there is my XY line. All right. Now, we need to fit, let's see, can we use these numbers on the bottom to make life a small bit easier? So if this is going to be 140 wide, for B, okay, we'll go from 60 mil to 200 mil, and then we'll leave a 20 mil gap, and 130 onto that is going to be up to here. Okay, 140, and that's the only one I'm a little worried about, because with a 20 mil gap, that means 160, and yes, we are going to fit. So, all good in the world. Now, we can begin to put some of these sketches in. So, I'm going to do these as construction lines, although they're dark construction lines, so you can see them in the video. So there we are. Now 110 high on my elevation is going to be up here. Since the end view is the same height as the elevation, because it's the same object, we'll go all the way across. So that's my elevation. You don't need to write that in, but I'm just going to do it to help you guys out. Then we can start drawing our end view since we have these guys here. So there we are. And there we are. And that's my end view. To draw the plan, you shouldn't really be measuring this, okay? One of the biggest mistakes people make is they treat these as three separate drawings, but actually they're all interconnected because they're of the one object. So I'm going to project these the same way I'm going to project a lot of details as we go through it. I'll use this little method. If you like the other 45-degree method, that's fine. If you like the compass method, you're only making your life difficult. So there we go. And this is our 20 millimeter gap, which is, of course, here as well. And there's the edge of my end view. Right down near the bottom. And we just connect up all the lines we need. Okay. So these are my three views, and this one here is my plan. Now at this point, I know it fits on the page. I can stand up and see if it's all fitting on the camera correctly. And we are just going to do a small adjustment, so bear with me for a second. Bring this up even higher so we capture everything. And there we go. Now we have everything. So that's why we draw the boxes. Everything is set up. I know it's on camera. You know it's on your page. Happy days. Okay, where do we start? Here's our one little rule, okay, our suggestion. Start with circles. It's much easier to draw a circle and project from it than to try and draw it as a rectangle in another view, for instance looking down on that guy, and then project back and get it lined up perfectly. So the circles that I need to look at, just grab a lovely green pencil for this one, are this guy here, and these two little lads on the end. So let's see if we can begin to figure these, where these ones are, draw them, and then deal with the rest. So we'll start with the big one. Now that is on a line, if I track back the center, on this little flat shelf here, which is the same as this shelf, which is 30 mil down. All right, so now we can go draw that. $30 mil down. Of course, we'll project it across because I'll probably need it in this view. There we go. Now I'm going to write some dimensions in. You guys don't need to do this. This is just in case you want to have a bit of assistance following the drawing with me. The next thing we want to know about that circle is where is it? So we track the center line back this way, and it's dead center, 65 across from each side. So I'll measure over 65 and we'll get that. Here we are. And I'm going to draw this the whole way down because I may need this measurement when I'm drawing the plan at some point. So we get the big set square. And down we go. Okay, now I can draw this guy. It was a radius of 22. So we have this here. There we are. And I can see from the drawing that that's definitely going to be one big full circle. So I can put a nice little pin in this one. I can draw it heavy. You might need 1 or 2 goes of the compass to get a nice clean heavy thing. Do make sure your compass is sharp like this. All right, one circle down. The other ones were in the plan. So here is a nice little tip for getting these guys. If I look at them here, radius is 25, and they're in from the corner. So rather than try and measure in and then have a knot line up, I'm going to set the compass and use the compass to find my way in. Here's how that works. I'm going to set my compass to 25. There we go. Now, that means from the edge here, I need to go in by 25 and down by 25. We'll do the same over here. Okay, I don't need to go down because I'll come across here. So now, and I'm not going to touch that compass because it's set just right. We'll bring this guy across. Nice construction line. And we'll come down here. And we'll have the 2 centers for our little 25mm arcs, just perfect. And if I happen to measure this at 24.5 or something, it'll still line up just nicely. Once I put it in the right place, of course. There we go. Right. There we go. That one's a little bit better than that one. So we can come over and connect the back of this. There we go. I might just see, can we heavy end that line slightly? Okay, so we have our circles drawn. Now, next bit. So the next thing, we're going to go with what's easy. All right. So as I look through this drawing, there's different places, and you might choose different ways to start, but I'm actually going to get this shape in the end view, because this is going to sort of set up a whole load of the drawing. So I'm going to see, can I get this whole side face? I'm not going to worry about that at this bit yet, but just this area here. All right. So what I'm going to need to do is to mark out some of my various distances. So we can bring the 25 one across. There we go. My first distance, and just a small tip, I'm actually going to draw this back wall in heavy now, because sometimes you can get confused and use the wrong, side of the elevation. So there's the back wall in heavy, and then the next distances are going to be 36, 14, and 30. So just to save myself any funky maths, we set that to 36. We mark it, slide, there we go, and 30. And we'll draw these up as constructions. So let's see, can we get this shape here? So this goes flat across with the 25, then it comes down in the 36 to that center line here, which was 30 down. Oops, sorry about that. Our rubber is committing suicide. So we go across to here, down to here, and then we go flat again. And at this point we come down to, I need a 22 mil up. Let's put that in. Up. There we are. And again, I'm going to send it the whole way across because I'm going to use it in the elevation. There we go. And that's my steep piece here. So I'm just going to make these dots extra large. You do them really small discreetly. I want to make sure you can see them, because I like to put these in because now I can kind of check before I've gone in and drawn heavy lines and realize, oh no. So that is all looking really good there. So we'll just put our heavy lines in with this. And our sloping lines in. If I look at the drawing, I can see that this is actually going to go straight out here. This is a little weird. We're not going to get too worried about it. So we slide it there. I'll just fix that. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so now I have a chunk of my end view drawn. And actually, you can see the bottom is going to be heavy across to here. There we go. All right. You know what? We might just pop this in, because if we look at this one, it just comes down by 5 mil from the top and connects back. So let's do that and give ourselves a satisfying little sense of completion for this piece. So down by 5 mil there, and we'll connect it back. So there's a whole outline and end view. All right, may as well do a nice easy piece of the window here. No harm to pop that in. So that is 45 wide from this edge and from the 22 mil up. So it starts from there. 45, do I know how tall it is? I know it's 15 down from here. So let's get our width first. 45. And 15 down from that line is going to be, we just set it to a nice little number there, like 75. Goes down to 60. And there we go. Okay, so we're kind of getting an idea of the overall shape of it. At this stage, I want to take some of these things back to the other views, just to kind of keep it all going. I know I could continue with this, but we'll, there's no real wrong way about it, and sometimes people do make a mistake of doing too much in one view before moving on. So let's see what will come back to the elevation. Well, we certainly have this edge here, The outside edges go all the way down heavy. There's something weird happening here, which we'll come to in time. And we got these two little rectangles. So let's see how we can piece this together. So these are my outer two edges. Top one in. Again, I like to get all the easy finishing lines in place because you can begin to see the shape of the drawing. Sometimes it becomes much easier to picture what's missing. We have those two guys there. Now, how wide are these two little lads? Well, they are 25 wide. Okay. Oh, which is 25 from down here. Perfect. So we'll just project that up. They come down to this surface here. There we go. And this is actually an edge because there's an edge there. I'll draw it now and show you then why the back is an edge. It's also this edge back here. So it's kind of like a flat table before you put the coffee down on it. Okay. We do have a continuous bottom edge. And we have something weird going on here, and we'll come back to that bit of it later on. So now we're coming together. Poor plan has been neglected, so let's see what we can do. So again, if we're looking down on the plan, we are going to get this sloping face looking like a rectangle, these two little rectangles, and our little nozzle bit coming out along here. So start projecting down all our key pieces. There's the head of the drinks machine. I'm going to call this a coffee machine just because I'm in the mood for a cup of coffee. And these certainly come down a bit further, so we'll bring them down. And you notice I'm not remeasuring everything. This is faster, it's easier, better way to go. Okay, all of these measurements here, I've done them. So let's start picking them off one by one. Here is that sloping face. There it comes. Across to here, and it is from there to there and there to there. So that bit's heavy and that bit's heavy. Okay, great. Now our little flat face. And that's going to give us two little rectangles. One is going to be there, the other one's here. Okay, I'll do all the edges in one go later on. Because the edges will stop here. We've just got to watch that one there. That's going to be our next step anyway. Down it comes. And across. So that is where the edge stops. We'll just get that in now. We have these little guys, so they are going to be sloping down like that. I can definitely see their edges. I'm not so sure about the rest of it, so we're just going to leave that as construction. Okay, we have some weirdness here, and we have to bring our nozzle in, our little coffee dispenser. So let's go figure out how far down this is going. It might actually be easiest to see in the end view, how far out, and then we can bring it across. So we have a look at this guy here. We have a measurement of 40 mil from the flat edge. That's fine, we can do that. It's 40 mil from here. There it is. Okay, so we'll push this in as a construction. Now we can come across. You see how easy it is to draw going across from a cylinder. And there it is there. Alright, now if you actually look closely, there's going to be a hidden line in here. I'll put it in now. We can go back and double check it later on. But we'll see in the drawing that we will actually see that little bit in there, which is behind this. It's kind of hidden by the slope. Project across from the top. Then I'll never have to even think about where does all the stuff go. And it's this bit here. Now, okay, so there is our novel. Bring it all the way down. And across, and we can draw it in heavy there. So this is going to help us know roughly when this stops. Now there's going to be a little bit of a funky curve on this. So let's just begin to see where this might be. And this is going to be from the flat small piece around. So I'm okay to draw a straight edge back to there, which is there. We'll put that in. We'll put that in. Okay. So now we're getting places and we're at this slightly weird, annoying curve. And this is a bit that some people are getting caught out on. So we need to stop and think a little bit about how we're actually going to do it. Now, to mark the occasion, we're even going to use a red pencil. There we are. Okay. The curve is going to happen over the top semicircle. It's going to occur roughly here. So the way we draw any curve is we divide it up into points. So what I'm going to do is use our 60-30 divisions. All the ways work, but this is a nice handy one. So I'll just do this construction in red, so we can see it. There we are. And don't forget, we do, of course, have the horizontals and verticals as points as well. And they're actually very nice points. I'm going to start using these guys. Now, if we have any confusion over them, number them. So we'll just pick a system 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Small and neat, mine are big and large so you can see them. Well, the easiest ones to see are 1 and 7 and 4 because they're kind of like at the 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And they'll show us overall where this curve is going to be. So let's track them one by one. Let's start with 1. 1 is going to be here. That's where it hits the slope. And 1 is going to be here. Okay, we can see that this goes down and across. So 1 is going down on this line and meets this guy coming down and across. Similarly, 7 is going to be there, goes behind it, down and across. So 7 is going to be here. Now let's look at 4. 4 is up somewhere on the center line. Comes across, it meets the slope here. So that's 4. So let's bring it across. So when we project, and this projection is absolutely key to it. Down from the end view, across to here, and there it goes. And that is where 4 is going to be. Now I know the whole curve has to go in there, and if I make a weird little mistake and something sits over here or up there, I know it's wrong, I can go back and check it. Let's do the rest of them. And they're actually, it's not as bad as it is because they come in pairs. So we'll send this guy across. That is both points 3 and 5. So we'll make a little mark there. 3 and 5. So let's bring them down across. Down and across. So 3 and 5 are on this line. Now we can project them down. I strongly recommend you get this point by point before you project everything. It's easy to get confused then. There's 3. And there's 5. Final 2. 2 and 6. So they hit the curve, the slope here, 2 and 6. Let's bring them across. So that is point 2, and here's 6. Now we can draw a curve in. Now, this curve is an ellipse, so the other way to do this is to draw it with this as a circle method. So if you wish to do that, you have a major axis and a minor axis. Honestly, it's a little fiddly given that these are fairly small, so this is the way I'd be recommending you to do it. It is, however, not a parabola, so just don't go down that road and get things confused. Okay, I've all of this guy done, all that guy done. Let's deal with this funky bottom piece. So what do we know about the bottom piece? We know that it comes in at a 60-degree angle from about 10 mil in. All right, let's come in 10 mil. There we go. May as well do on the other side over here. It comes at a 60-degree angle. There we go. And that is our front. And this is kind of handy because at this point, I can send this straight up. Now I know where it ends. So on the front, even if you can't picture this yet, there is going to be a little rectangular bit here. You can kind of see it in the drawing. A little rectangular piece just along there. So we can come back with our 5 mil line there. We've done all the work for this. Now let's just take sure we pick the points up carefully. The 5 mil line is easy to see, but there's a lot of lines coming up, so we'll just double check. And there it is, little dot. And there we go, little dot there. And across. Now we're going to have an edge here, so we can send that guy straight up. I'm going to have the same one on the other side. So the final thing is, what does this little bit look like? And actually, if we do have a little look in the drawing, we're going to see a shape S. So we know we have a connection from the bottom point here, which is there, up to this guy here. We're just going to connect the dots. And this is the shape of our object. Now, time to do a little bit of checking across the board. Now, one of the things I did notice when I was doing it is I should have an edge there, this little edge. So we'll just go back and put this guy in heavy. And hidden lines. So let's think about this now. We do have this kind of flat platformy area here, and that's going to generate some hidden lines over here. So we can see that the flat edge of it, which is this edge, is there, it's along there. So we're going to see a hidden line coming down along here. And going across. And that edge on the drawing is this little edge here and the corresponding one on the other side. The window goes in. Let's go deal with this. We'll see it in the elevation and plan. So in by 5 mil. Draw this construction line the whole way down and figure out where the window goes. So it's easy enough to see here. It goes there, and there's the top of it. So again, by projecting and projecting and projecting, I'm saving a lot of time with the drawing. I'm making my life easier and making it more accurate. Where is it going to be? Going down and across. I have this one done already, so there's one bit of the window. And just to remind myself, I'll draw that in. I have to find it again. The other bit is not shown. So there it is. Again, little hidden lines so I can see it. And then it's really easy to get this guy done. Okay, so at this stage things are looking pretty good. We have all of our bits and pieces. Now what else might we possibly have here? See this little edge here. on the bottom, comes across, and it's sitting there. So it goes under all of this stuff. So we'll just go put that hidden line in. The hidden lines aren't crazy marks, but it's worth having a bit of a scan at the end. You pick up small stuff along the way. And we will also have another one here where this goes across. Alright, so that edge is the edge here where it comes in and meets it. So at this stage, we have all of our key bits of the drawing. Now the one thing we've left out here is the true shape of S, which is this surface here. Alright, now really I should have done that before going through all the hidden lines, but we're here now. So what we want to do with S is we want to rotate it. Now a handy place to rotate is going to be this edge here, and flip it out so I can see it in the elevation. There's many other ways you can do it, but this one looks nice and tidy. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, we may go slightly off our drawing, our page though. So we're going to rotate it where we see it as a line. So there it is in plan. I'm going to take this. Okay, and even if this does kind of go off your drawing, I don't want it, there we are. We just rotate it around so it's flat. To see it as a true shape, we are going to look this way in elevation. So we'll do this one in a lovely blue color I have lying over here. So this is the rotated shape of S. Now just remember it goes the whole way across. Okay, so that's S rotated. Well, let's see where it is. Project it back up. So along there. These two corners don't move, these do move. As they rotate, they're going to end up here and here. Now you'd normally complete this in pencil. I'm just going to do this in blue so it stands out and you can see what we're looking at here. There we go. Remember, it goes all the way back to the edge that we rotated. If in doubt, just count the corners to make sure you've got them all. And there is my true shape of S. So the most marks you'll get per second of drawing. So this is our full completed orthographic drawing of 2013 question 1.